US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has landed in Taiwan, defying Beijing's warning that the visit would provoke serious consequences. Ms. Pelosi is the highest-ranking American politician in 25 years to visit Taiwan. China regards a self-governing island as part of its territory. Joining me now live to discuss is Stephen Loosley from the United States Studies Centre. Appreciate your time. Nancy Pelosi has a long history of confronting Beijing. In your view, has she made this trip to Taiwan for her own personal gain or for genuine reasons?
I doubt it's for her own personal gain, Danica. She certainly made it in the interests of human rights policy and an American perspective. You're quite right. She is the most significant American public official to visit Taiwan since Newt Gingrich, who was then Speaker from memory, visited in 1997, though it's important to understand that in the background over recent months, quite a number of senior American officials and retired officials, including Congress people, have visited the island to show support for Taiwanese democracy. And I think Speaker Pelosi's visit fits neatly into that mold. She's certainly been very warmly welcomed in Taipei. She's got some senior meetings during the course of the day with the president and legislators. And there is no question that it's an important signal that the United States is sending, perhaps reluctantly on the part of the administration, to Beijing about its continuing interest and continuing support for Taiwan.
The US has a one China policy. Would the US be frustrated that she did decide to go to Taiwan?
It's very clear that the White House and the Biden administration would have preferred that the Speaker's visit not occur now, that it occurred later in the year, perhaps after the Chinese Communist Party Congress and edging towards the congressional midterms in the United States. So there's no question that that was the preference. That was clear in terms of the discussions in Washington, D.C. that leaked into the public domain. But with the Speaker being very determined, and she's a formidable individual, Nancy Pelosi, has a ton of courage, with the Speaker having determined that she was going and flying to Taipei, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken came out in support of the visit. Now in Beijing, a visit by such a senior American official will be interpreted in some quarters as a de facto endorsement of Taiwan's independence. It's not. The president made it clear in his conversation with President Xi that American policy has not changed. It's not changed since the Carter administration in 1979, the one China policy, maintaining a strategic ambiguity on Taiwan. Australia has a very similar policy. So that's not altered. But in the fevered atmosphere of Chinese Communist Party politics leading up to the Congress, some will misconstrue this and some will see it as reason to escalate the hostility towards the United States and its allies in the region.
China has already voiced its anger over this visit. How might Beijing respond to this?
Beijing will respond in a number of ways in terms of economy, in terms of diplomacy, and in terms of ongoing negotiations with the US. For example, the United States would actually like to lift some tariffs that have been imposed on Chinese products to ease some of the cost pressures in the American economy. I don't see those going as far as perhaps they might have achieved. There will be pressure on Taiwan in the traditional manner, whereby there will be Chinese aircraft flying into Taiwanese airspace. There will be a greater hostility in the South China Sea and the East China Sea, and the drumbeat from Beijing in terms of the propaganda will continue. There could be some new measures embraced. Do I think it will lead to a conflict? No. Will it lead to a scaling up in tensions? Yes, I think it has already.
Remains to be seen. We'll be watching it closely. Stephen Loosley, we have to leave it there. Thank you for joining us.
Danica, thank you.